Lawyers of Reddit, what was the best gotcha moment you ever experienced? Plaintiff alleged he was so injured in an auto accident that he couldn't work, do any regular activities, or pick up his young kids. He then posted on his public FB profile him doing the ice bucket challenge. If you're not familiar, he basically lifted a huge cooler filled with ice water over his head. His attorney had no idea he had posted it. Facebook has often been a dishonest victim's downfall. I'm a law librarian and at any given time I'm probably tracking someone's FB activity because they're suing our client and claiming disability or illness. We're defending a multi-million-dollar case right now. Plaintiffs and their experts insist they'll be suffering increasingly serious health problems for the rest of their lives. Like needing caretakers, not able to provide for themselves or make financial decisions, just all kinds of horrible physical impairments, including brain injury. Two of them are posting everything they do on FB: working, going out with friends, driving, walking around at parties, etc. I've denied so many workers' comp claims because of what people post on their own Facebooks. I can't walk on my left foot, posts video of them dancing at the club in heels. I think that's why they can't. Had a client accused of leading the cops on a high-speed chase. The cop on the stand estimated he was going 90 miles per hour, but never actually clocked him. Then the cop identified where the chase started with me, and where it ended. It lasted about 2 miles. Then we went through his log of when it started and when it ended. About 3.5 minutes. Once you walk through the math on that, the average speed of this chase was 35 miles per hour. Client got acquitted really quickly after that. Not a lawyer but a legal videographer. This gentleman was claiming injury seeking damages against his employer after a fall at work. He claimed he couldn't raise his right arm above his shoulder because of the fall. First deposition comes along and I am hired by defendant's attorney to videotape deposition of the plaintiff. Anyone know the first thing a court reporter asks you to do in a deposition? Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. Plaintiff raises his right arm above his shoulder with ease and no sign of discomfort. Does not occur to him what he has just done. Both attorneys were looking down at their notes when this happened and neither of them caught it. The plaintiff himself didn't catch it. The court reporter looked at him and then looked at me and her eyes went wide with realization at what just happened. 4 hours of deposition proceed wherein the plaintiff is instructed, multiple times, to show his range of motion and proceeds to pretend like he can't raise his arm above shoulder level, which he did at the very beginning of his deposition. Deposition ends. Plaintiff's counsel leaves. I call defense, hiring party, counsel over and show him the first 2 minutes of tape. Counsel excitedly whispers to me, "Case closed, you just saved us tens of thousands of dollars." I got a $5,000 bonus and plaintiff's case was dismissed with prejudice. My brother is an attorney. He had a case where the guy said he was permanently disabled from a work accident. At a deposition my brother overheard the guy talking about getting his house remodeled. He was already spending the money he thought he was getting. My brother drove by the house to see how much work was being done and saw the guy carrying bundles of roofing shingles up a ladder to the roof. This was before smartphones, so he drove to Best Buy and bought a video camera, went back and recorded the guy. He had copies made and sent to the other attorney. The guy dropped the suit and was back at work the following Monday. My brother's client didn't want to pay for the video camera. He saved them thousands of dollars. They eventually paid, but he still gets a little peeved when he talks about it. Canada. There was a case in Manitoba on similar grounds, where a person was in a car accident, and couldn't drive, and lived an hour or 3 from work, so couldn't work. Also, even moving was allegedly painful. Manitoba Public Insurance, the only option for auto insurance in the province, hired a PI to investigate. They photographed the lady driving 3 hours to a convention in Winnipeg, and walking around all day at the con. MPI denied the claim and ordered her to pay every cent back. I had client whose 60k car was ruined by a shop that put in the wrong oil. We couldn't prove it at first, the engine blew up, oil leaked out and evidence was lost. I subpoenaed their bank records, figured out they bought their oil from Costco. Called Costco and got their prices for the last 2 years. I then worked out the amounts they were spending, did some backhand math, and showed based on the values it was impossible they had ever bought the right oil. They settled in full immediately. I was deposing a guy in a large breach of contract fraud action. I asked him if he'd ever been convicted of a crime. He said no. Later in the dep I asked him the question again and there was no objection and he answered no. I then whipped out his indictment for felony fraud and his conviction for misdemeanor conspiracy and he denied it was him until I started asking about his co-conspirator, his son, and then he gave me the "oh yeah, I remember something about that." Make sure to subscribe and like the video for more videos like this.